Yes, hello. I am James Rowlands, and today it's the WNR438. We're going to look at WWE Clash at the Castle, and I am not alone. I have a pleasure to be joined by the entire WNR podcast team. Up first by my side for every WWE and AEW show, and coming up to 2 years on the WNR podcast is, of course, the fantastic Jaxie Scarlett. How you doing?
Oh, how time flies. Almost 2 years, and it feels like a lifetime. Oh, how much fun we had as well. Look forward to this podcast. Hello, hello.
Yeah, well, it's great having you on. Like I said, 2 years, and it culminated, well, with the Clash, of course, that we were there for. And the only negative thing about the Clash on Saturday was actually not having our next team member be part of it. And that's, of course, our resident New Japan and NXT expert. It is Monty. I hope we're still friends.
Oh yeah, of course. I was physically here in the States, but I felt you guys' energy all the way over here, and I was with you guys in spirit. So I'm happy to do this show, and I'm ready to get into it, man. This is a great show to
You were
talk about.
definitely there in spirit. You were definitely there in spirit.
Well, last but by no means least, and after meeting her and thinking about it, I will just be doing a straight up intro for her now. I'm only joking. Well, I'm not the world's most physical guy, but when she squeezed me tight, she nearly broke my spine. My Gina, 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 Gina. It's Genius Gina. How's it going?
Yo! Always love the song and the intros. Definitely going to break some spines one day. But how you doing?
It's brilliant. I honestly cannot wait to get on with this and talk about the Clash, and so much so that we were going to do Raw and SmackDown notes, and I thought, no, I'll just put them up on Facebook, because people on Facebook say there's not enough content there. They're not moaning about that at the moment, and on Twitter, thank you very much. So we're going to get straight into Clash. Just before that, there are three things I want to talk about. All considered what happened with Raw and SmackDown, but just before the Clash. Monty, up first. Johnny Gargano returning, because I don't think we've spoken about this. We talk about his dad bringing him home, but weirdly enough, even meta way about it, Johnny then, as dad, meeting his son, Theory. So we saw all the way. Yeah. But this is great stuff, though.
Yeah, man, it's awesome to see Johnny looking good. It's been a long 9 months. It's been a lot of questions, a lot of times where I predicted that he would show up at AEW, so it just shows right there that no one had an idea that this was gonna be in the cards. But it's great to see him. It's a smart decision to make, and in my opinion, even when Vince was still there, I thought they should be trying to make sure they called up Johnny in some way, shape, or form. So it's great to see him back, and then like you said, working with Theory right off the bat after the history that they have in the way, and like you said, being kind of his father figure down there, and now looking at the a-hole that Theory has become. It's going to be interesting to see how this play out going forward, but it's going to be a nice little feud, I think, to start off Gargano's comeback.
Yeah, I think without doubt. And the thing is, like with AEW, always like Kenny Omega as the kind of the guy of like, that's the best wrestler in the world. And for me, it was always Johnny Gargano. The stuff he's done and did in NXT all throughout. He's one of the greatest wrestlers in the world, and even the stuff of the way we're enjoying it week in, week out. And there's only one WNR award named after a wrestler, and that is Johnny Gargano. So, like I said, it should be good that he's coming back. He obviously wants a WrestleMania spot, but like I said, the Theory is a good way to start the feud, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that's a good place to start. But now, since it seems like he'll be on Raw going forward, you have the possibility of him chopping, of course, linking up in some way, shape, or form again, whether it's a feud or a little throwback to what they used to do together as a team. You have a lot of possibilities. Seth Rollins and Gargano, you can't tell me that wouldn't be fun to watch. I know they could kill it. It's a lot of possibilities. Kevin Owens, and Cody when he comes back. So it's just a lot of things you can do with a guy like Gargano. You can plug him in with a lot of different combinations, and I think you can make match. I didn't even mention him and AJ Styles, but again, that's just me going off the names off the top of my head of stuff that would be great to see when it comes to Gargano. Like, you got a lot of things that he's not been, even though he's done a lot, there's a lot of things he still hasn't been able to do yet under the WWE umbrella, and I think now is his time to really, give it a good shot.
Yeah, I think without doubt, it'd be interesting to see what happens. We'll talk about returns as well. Jaxie asked you what your thoughts on. We saw Karrion Kross returning to WWE, making his in-ring debut apparently, and of course Hit Row returning, minus Swerve, but still, I mean, Hit Row. When I heard that, good shit. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I was very excited by Hit Row's return for sure, definitely. Like, even though they don't have Swerve anymore, I still feel like the group had something about them when they were in NXT that just drew me to them. Not to mention the extremely catchy song that they have. And they have a lot of talent that some of us got a chance to see in NXT that we didn't get a chance to see on the main roster. And I'm just very excited to see where things will go with them, because I think they'd make a great addition to the tag team division. They'll definitely spice things up a little bit more. And it's just really exciting to see, sort of some of these maybe what I would say is smaller releases that happened from Vince's side, but be brought back like this. So, there was always sort of like an obvious that Braun may return and things like that. But for teams like Hit Row, I definitely was happy to see them return. Who was the other person that returned that you mentioned?
Karrion Kross.
Oh, Karrion.
With Charlotte, who for me does nothing for me. But again, I'll let you.
Yeah, I know that she's definitely one of those ones that she's not everyone's cup of tea. I mean, personally, I think if she actually was a wrestler as well, I think it would work a bit more. But I feel like we're kind of past the days of having just like just a manager. That being said, I know that there are a couple in real life. They're now married, so I can also understand why they are doing this sort of whole get up thing. I must admit, Karrion Kross looks so much better with hair. It might not be a popular opinion, but I've never seen him with hair because I've only ever seen him in the NXT bald. So I actually liked seeing this kind of new look of Karrion Kross's. I was a little bit apprehensive because he was coming after Drew, and I was like, bruv, we got Clash coming up. What are you doing? sort of thing. But yeah, I'm excited to see what he's going to do on the main roster now that he actually is Karrion Kross and not wearing a mask and looking like some knockoff cheap Comic-Con Viking of sorts.
Yeah, exactly. Excellent point there. Gina, for you, what about Nymph? I can't believe Nymph is a tag team champion now alongside Raquel. And also, I want to know what you think about the Sami Zayn and Uso shenanigans, because it's just too much to go into right now.
I mean, I think everybody and their mum was annoyed when Aaliyah and Raquel won. It's not even that they don't deserve it, or it's not nice to see the belts on some fresh faces. It's just they haven't been a team long. Like, sorry, what the fuck have they done to deserve that? Like, Raquel still comes out with a smile plastered on her face, like she's been told, look, your kids are held at gunpoint, and unless she's come out smiling and don't drop that smile, they're done for. Like, I have no idea why she can't seem to drop that smile, but it freaks me out. Especially because she was kind of like a badass bitch on NXT, and then this is just like, mum's come for dinner. So
I always find the smile a little bit more threatening, but when it's all the time, I just want to do it occasionally, because you go, why the fuck are you smiling?
Yeah, it can be taken more sinister when she does it occasionally, but because it's constantly plastered on, it's weird. I'm sorry if that's not a popular opinion, but it's weird for me, and I don't like it. Just bring back badass bitch Raquel, But either way, I think we all expected. I think we all expected it to go the other way. So, fair play and congrats to them, but I don't really see them holding them for too long. I know that everyone's itching for certain returns to happen. and for possibly Sasha and Naomi to take them back. But we might even end up getting, Dakota and Io getting that first, and then those guys come back. Either way, I just hope that they can just make the most of it, because it's going to get taken real soon.
Part of me wanted, I think Gonzalez, Rodriguez, Raquel to actually just go, do you know what? I'll team with Kai, because that makes more sense. Just,
Exactly.
or have Io say, yeah, go on, join us.
Yeah, it does. It is quite shocking. And to be fair, they haven't really addressed the relationship that Dakota and Raquel had from NXT. I don't remember them even speaking about that much. So it is weird to have them in opposing teams and not on the same team. So we'll see with that.
Raquel's smiling all the time. What about...
and Dakota doesn't.
Yeah. What about... Monty, you must know. I got called.
I'm telling you now, I love the segments between them all. I really do. I just think that it's brilliant having one of them be all friendly with Sammy and one of them be mean. It kind of reminds me of how relationships go with me and my sister. She's the bitch, I'm the nice one. But I absolutely love it. And Sammy just commits to his character. He's just he deserves everything in the world, Sammy.
Yeah, without that. No, I was going to say
I feel like I could also confirm that I would be the J in this situation, and Gina would be the Jimmy. Just because Jimmy is like Gina, and she's naturally friendly. Not saying I'm not, but I think sometimes when I forget to smile, people just think I look mean. So I'm just going to go with that.
All I'm saying is, when we were at the Clash, if I was in the bloodline, Monty, at points, I went from Sami Zayn to Paul Heyman to I think I got one Roman Reigns, and then Jax turned around and went, no, you're Heyman. I think that's...
Hey, that was Gina. Gina said you were Paul Heyman, not me.
Well, whoever said it hurt. It's... I just want to...
I mean, I pre-warned you. I sent you a picture of the Usos carrying Heyman out when he was put through the announcer table, and I said, "This is you, James." I did pre-warn you.
You did.
But we were saying it was you from a point of view of I don't know how you survived a night with the twins, but that's how we presumed that the night would go, is you drunk off your face and I was carrying you. Turns out it was the other way round.
To be fair, though, I have slept for 3 hours since I've needed to catch up on my sleep. It was we're going to get into it right now. Anyway, it is time. Let's talk about it. Let's get into it. It's for the Clash. After 30 years, WWE are holding a stadium show in the UK, Cardiff, Wales, September the 3rd. We're going to talk about how we got there. We can talk about how we got there if you suppose. Monty, are you interested? I guess you are, because I travelled by car to get there. Took me about, 6 hours or so, and I stayed at a lovely Travelodge, which is a fancy hotel. £140 for the night, so it was quite expensive, but not too bad, I suppose. But we did finally get to Cardiff. Jaxie Gina, how was your journey to Cardiff?
It was actually okay for me. I think we broke it down, as I live in London and Gina is in Bristol, which is probably about 45 minutes away from Wales. So I went up on the coach to Bristol on the Friday night, and then Gina and I travelled down on the coach from Bristol to Cardiff on Saturday. So it was actually okay in terms of the journey. We stayed at an Airbnb rather than getting a hotel. It worked out much cheaper, and we had a lot of fun. It was a really nice Airbnb, actually.
Well, let's go. And then we met up.
Yeah. Oh, and the bus was just full of people definitely going to watch Clash as well. It was absolutely rammed, and you could just tell because everybody was wearing their wrestling t-shirts. And we also saw a fellow Twitter friend. D, shout out to you for seeing you. Yeah.
Well, I'm saying the weird thing is as well, Monty, is like everybody going to the show kind of looked like me in a way. It's like just different kind of beard stuff like that. It just there wasn't, anybody expecting
That's
like
fair.
more kids.
So that's true.
Yeah, I saw it on the crowd shots and in the stands. It was like, hey, is that James? Oh,
Yeah.
okay, no, not that's not quite right.
I did not feel out of place, shall I say? It was, but then again, it changed because obviously they're with like the groups of friends and like you said, 4 or 5 kind of bearded men, and then obviously Jaxie and Gina. When eventually I found them because I went the wrong way. But that was, it was nice meeting up finally, and it was really, really. I don't want to say, was it like Gina meeting? Because you're the first person I met, and it was just, I don't know.
I mean, it's weird because we've been doing this podcast together. You're already familiar, so when I initially saw you walking up, I didn't feel like a stranger was walking up to me. I kind of just wanted to greet you like I would any of my friends, run and give you a hug. I think I actually did, didn't I?
Yes, you did.
I already had been drinking throughout the day, but I think I also pre-warned you. I probably am going to hug you. So at least you had that pre-warning as well, just in case you wanted to back me up. But I think it was nice. It was refreshing. And like I said, it felt like I was greeting an old friend rather than anyone like that I hadn't actually met face to face because we've done this podcast together.
Yeah, well, about that, as soon as I saw you, I thought, that's Gina. And it's like, oh my God, I've got to go up and speak to her. And then it's like, oh, wait a minute, it's Gina. I'm all right.
Right.
Yeah.
She's like, she knows who I am. She knows who I am.
You know what it's like, Monty, when you need to go speak to like an attractive female, and he's like, hang on a minute, I've been doing a pod for a year, but no, I'm fine. I should be. My only thing that threw me was like, there's only one of them. I swear. Have they been playing this trick for the past?
Has this been a trick this entire time?
Jaxie's like, yeah, I got.
Listen, you were taking so long, and as my sister said, we had been drinking all day. I needed to break the seal, okay? So I had to run and just find a bathroom, which, just walked into Cardiff train station and gave someone the big doe eyes, and then they let me through so that I could pee for free rather than paying 70p or whatever it is to pee. And then, I greeted you after, but I saved the best till last, okay?
Oh no, it was a pleasant surprise. It is those two. That would have been embarrassing,
Part of me was really tempted if I had a loud enough speaker to just start blasting some form of Roman Reigns music as I was making my way back to you, just so I could have that epic entrance,
Yeah, but it was fine, and it was like, okay, we're finally, like I said, I did take the wrong road, but hey, we all do sometimes. And then we walked there, and I tell you, Monty, Cardiff, it was fucking overtaken, as obvious it should be, but I mean, just everywhere, round with people. Like I said, all the pubs full, everything else was pretty full. We did go to a pub, but again, it was, the sticky floors. That's how I would explain it. It already seemed.
Right.
People have been drinking. And then we got the merch stands and the queues. I mean, Jaxie, I didn't even attempt because I thought the queue for one of them looked like the entrance to the stadium.
Yeah, it really did.
Yeah.
And, as much as I really wanted to get myself a T-shirt or some form of memorabilia, I was like, no, do I want to wait in this merch queue or do I want to wait in the queue to get myself another beer? So, priorities.
How did you find the prices of the beer? Because I know you guys, I don't want to go too far forward, Monty. They did have a hot dog. All right, we will talk wrestling, guys, but at the moment...
we needed to pick up, though, so... I didn't even look at the prices, if I'm honest. No. I just kept going up there and giving them my order. I really don't remember them ever telling me the price of the drinks or anything. I just would just use my card to tap out. So, yeah, I don't even remember how much I spent. Same.
You see, Monty, I had a good night. You see what I'm saying?
Right?
When it's like that. Yeah. So we did, but again, like I said, we waited a little bit until the doors opened at 3:00 and the show officially started at 6, and I think we got in about 5:30. Mate, my legs were killing me on the stairs. I know it's not about that, but they really was a fucking walk. I wasn't expecting it. And then getting there, though, walking around the stadium and obviously getting the atmosphere, I thought it was actually quite exciting. And Gina, you were there chatting to a few kids as well, weren't you, about kind of what they're looking forward to?
Yeah, there was like this little girl in the queue, and she had a little what's Alexa Bliss's doll's name?
Lily. Yeah.
She had a little Lily in her hand with an Alexa t-shirt. So I just started talking to her about who her favorite female wrestlers are, who she thinks is going to win the 6-woman tag. And one thing I really liked about it is that when she spotted me and we kind of like made a little eye contact, she kind of looked like, oh, cool, there's like another girl here, or, you know, because she was with her, what I assume is her dad and maybe her brothers. But it was really nice because, again, for me, especially in the era that I grew up watching wrestling, I didn't know a lot of women who watched wrestling. And me and Jax always felt that we were kind of the odd ones out in school because we would go in and start talking with all the boys about the wrestling show on the weekend. And all the girls just find that really weird for us. So, again, I was really excited to, you know, speak to some of the kids that I just bumped into there and, you know, see how excited they were for the show. That was another great part of the experience.
Yeah, without that, but this is the thing. Even, you know, meeting you guys and thinking, right, what are they like in person? And it's just kind of is made up, kind of how nice you guys were, as well as like talking to kids and stuff like this. And there was one moment I think Jaxie went to the toilet and reunited children with their parents. Monty, like that's literally what she did.
Jaxie
Oh, that little boy.
Oh, it was the little girl. She was like just stood in the toilets and she shouted help. And I was just coming out of the toilet and I was like, what's wrong? And she's like, I've lost my dad, this, that, and the other. So we went walking around hand in hand and then we found him. So yeah, that was, I mean, nice. You know, I can't imagine how scary it is for a girl very young. She looked, you know, about 8, 9 maybe. So, you know, that's always going to be a scary thing when you just see a child by themselves in that big of an arena, especially, you know. So I'm sure if it wasn't me, it would have been someone else who would have, you know, another female that was in the toilets would have grabbed her. But it just so happened that she shouted for help when I was coming out, you know.
Yeah, super Jaxie. That
Awesome.
At the toilet, just I will save you.
Right?
Yeah, like literally, like that's what it was crazy. And also another funny thing. Well, like I said, not everybody would do that. And with the seats, I was a little bit worried because I wasn't sure. Because you know, I bought them as well. How far away we'd be. So, Gina, honest opinion about what you thought about the seats.
What about the seats that we had?
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually really liked them. They were great seats. They were close to the stairs, which was great because I was clearly going and buying drinks quite regularly. So it was good that I didn't really have far to go because the bar was like right where our stairs would come out. So it was perfect, like space for me. And even from like the stage, we were a bit higher up, but to be honest, it was still a perfect angle of just seeing the ring itself as well as seeing the screens. So I was really pleased with the seats.
Well, the thing is, and even with a picture, it seems further away than it was in person. Mont, you know what I mean by that, obviously, being at one of these shows that you still see the ring, you know, and like I said, with the screen there. But, Jaxie, you didn't mind them, no?
No, I didn't mind them either. I think I was having just too much fun sort of with the surrounding area, just kind of getting like a good feel on it, knowing as well that I could always come away from this show and rewatch it, like, you know, where I can see it up close. So I wasn't really bothered. I just really wanted to take in the atmosphere and just enjoy myself, really, which we evidently did.
Well, I was about to say, what did you think of the atmosphere? Because obviously we'll talk about as the night progressed, but when we first got in there was a buzz already, weren't there?
There really was, and I think we had come in on the dark match. That was it Madcap Moss? It was Madcap Moss, right?
Yeah, it's a kickoff match.
Yeah. It was actually just kind of really fun to cut. Like it is really contagious walking into an arena and feeling the excitement of everyone there, and just seeing how many fans there actually are, and being like, "Hey, I'm one of you." You know, like my sister said, growing up, we really evidently kept a lot of our sort of like, I call it nerd talk, but wrestling talk to ourselves, or would wait till we were home to really kind of nerd out on discussing everything that happened on it and stuff. It was just so nice to feel like you could fully embrace like the inner wrestling nerd that you were at that arena, and just seeing that everyone else is in the same boat as you, you know?
Yeah, I think without that. And the other thing I found weird was because where we were sitting or where it was, but it felt more like an arena than a stadium. Even though on TV, looking back, it looked massive, I still felt there's not much difference between this and like the O2, you know?
Yeah, definitely. And I must admit as well, like sort of a contrasting change. Obviously, when we do watch wrestling and we get a chance to watch it live, we do a quite like to live tweet where we can, and there's such a major difference to seeing sort of like the negativity that gets posted about certain bits and bobs to do with wrestling, to then actually being there live and not seeing like one sort of like real negative Nancy, you know, like it was just really thrilling to kind of see the absolute positivity that wrestling can bring out in people, you know?
I think without a doubt. And the other question I got asked, because there's a picture of us asking me why I wasn't sitting in the middle. Now, I haven't got an ego, everybody. I don't need to sit in the middle, but I should have done. But no, I took one for the team.
I didn't even think about that.
There was a guy next to me who I think you're glad he was next to me, so to speak. I thought he had a stroke halfway through. I'm not going to lie, I had to check on him, but he seems all right. But the section we were in as well, we made that fucking section, and I would talk about...
We did. I swear everyone just wanted to talk to us.
The looks on everybody's face, like I said, with the three of us. Again, I don't want to take credit just for being like really good looking and stuff. Like I'm sure Gina and Jaxie, whatever saying about them as well. But obviously, it's like I do get a lot of attention when I go out, and it's like, guys, look, please. But they couldn't believe their tiny little fucking minds. It was like, how has he done that? And it's like, yeah.
Yeah, I did that.
Wait, can I just explain? So I did initially, when we all went to go and sit down, I did initially say to James, like, let's swap. But then I also realized that I knew I'm going to be getting up all the time to go and get drinks. And I didn't want James to have to keep getting up to let us move past him. So it made sense for him to stay where he was as well.
And also the interaction between the two of you, seeing a show together and watching that, like I said, and me creepily videoing both of you doing it.
You were our little cameraman. It was fine. I liked it.
It was great.
I am Brandon Cutler. Like, I have a promotion.
Yeah, you are definitely Brandon.
I'm happy being Matt Jackson. Gina can be Nick. That's good.
Yeah. So
you go from Paul Heyman to Cutler.
It's not getting any better, is it?
Hey, but maybe by the end we'll be somewhere money. But who knows? At least I enjoyed myself. So we did kick off with kickoff. I did go back to watch the event and kickoff because I'm just that type of guy. Jackie Redmond and Matt Cann. No, me neither. With Pete Rosenberg in the studio in America, running through the cards. We see Leon Edwards chatting to Liv. Pete Rosenberg didn't know Edge and Ray were former tag team champions. You'd want to see them team up for the first time. What a wanker. Kickoff match. Street Profits and Moss versus AA and Theory, American Alpha. Cole and commentary. Saxon and Graves dressed as redcoats, I think, maybe referencing Butlins. But maybe that's just too far a pull. No Pat McAfee as well, but we should get used to that. We were just getting in on this match, but there were lots of shoosh chants. Usually at an event, you get your woos, you get your New Day, you get your Cenas, but the shoosh was actually even beforehand as well, building up. And Austin is back with Theory. He got the biggest reaction. We even felt that. We were kind of coming in with Theory coming out with the boos.
I was shocked at how much of a pop he got.
Yeah, it was big stuff, and it was a high energy open as well, highlighting all six before Ford exploded late and finished Chad Gable off with his awe-inspiring frog splash. Monty, seeing as you were probably the only one that was paying attention at the time, what did you think of that match?
I thought it was, I thought it did its job. It was a kickoff show. And you guys on Twitter, they were basically saying that this was going to be you could tell this show was going to be special from the way it sounded on the kickoff match. So that just let you guys know how well it sounded, or at least how well you guys sounded on television. But anyway, so yeah, man, it was fun. Like you said, high energy. It pumped the crowd up. It got everybody going. It was a good kickoff match. Good way to get the blood pumping and just lead into the show the right way. And I think getting everybody to get a chance. Didn't know, because I don't think this was announced pre-card or like pre. I don't hear nothing about this match. So it's great that you guys got a chance to at least get a chance to see the Street Profits, even if it really was kind of like in a meaningless type of situation. They don't come over there often for these type of things. So it ended up being a positive segment, even if it wasn't like the greatest match ever. But it was fun, though. A lot of fun.
Yeah. What would you score that out of 5 to start us off?
I gave it 3.5.
Yeah, I'm going to give it 4 as well. Watched it back and forth. Yeah, obviously we did catch the arse end of it as well, so it weren't too bad. Jaxie, what would you score that out of 5?
Was this announced? Did we?
No, we missed it. Like it was, but it was beforehand. I don't know when they announced it.
Yeah, it's a pre-show.
Yeah.
Yeah, me either.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying. I don't think they formally announced it.
No, I don't think they did either, because I don't feel like we did predictions for it. I do think it was a good match. Like Monty said, it did what it needed to do. I just have to say, though, being able to see Montez Ford do a frog splash live like that, even from where we were sat, was just amazing. He went so high, even though we were sat up high. It was so much fun to kind of see that live. So I really enjoyed this match. I'll give it a 4 out of 5. It was decent and did what it needed to.
Well, Gina, what about you?
Yeah, you guys all described it perfectly. I gave it a 3.5.
3.5. So we did no predictions for this and no polls. We didn't know. And then the final thing of kickoff, we see Roman Reigns arriving solo onto the main show. The opening promo was fun. I mean, we were excited anyway, but I really did think the opening promo was good, even with the Welsh voice over it. Gina, how excited were you for the event at that point?
As in the entire event, or just the Roman match?
As in the entire event, just before the
Oh
main
yeah,
show was
I mean,
start.
like we said, the stadium itself was just so loud from beginning to end. So the energy was just, if you weren't excited before, I would be super surprised if you weren't excited by just being in that stadium with everyone. Everyone's excitement just bounced from one person to another. And I'm kind of shocked we didn't do a Mexican wave. Maybe we did and I missed it. But yeah, no, it was just great. I was already excited from the minute I sat down. So again, the minute like that it was ready to kick off after the pre-show, I was already ready for the main show to start.
Yeah, the only thing I was disappointed with was there's no fireworks, because obviously the roof was up in the stadium, and I guess it's still daylight outside, or they just don't care about UK fans. But I'll get onto that in a bit.
They just didn't have the budget for it.
Yeah, it's just thought, what's the point? But again, and then we're thinking to ourselves, right, we're getting ready for it, and then Bianca Belair music's hit, and we all lose our shit, because it's Bianca Belair. How good is that?
Yep. As soon as you heard that hair whip, like everyone just erupted. Everyone was stood up. Just the screams going off, like the Queen had arrived. Queen EST.
And you thought that was a big pop, and then Oscar's music hit, and then Jaxie's like, "Hold my beer."
Seriously, I had to put it down, everything. Monty, I lost my shit. I honestly believe that I lost my voice because of that moment, because I don't think I screamed so loud. Like, I actually made the guy sat next to me jump, because I don't think he was expecting it. So he did like a sort of jump out the way, because I was out of my seat in 2 seconds. I don't care if she was that small. Like, seeing Oscar live, I almost had a tear in my eye. If I wasn't shouting and screaming so much, I would have had tears in my eyes. I mean, I don't even know what I would have been like if I saw her up close. Probably best that I wasn't, because otherwise, James, you would have been like, you would have had to have put a leash on me just to actually keep hold of me.
No, Monty, I kid you not. At one point, a Genie went over as well, like literally jumped into the crowd. Like, it was.
I literally had to grab the guy's shoulders in front of me to stop myself from going down. And the worst thing is like he was sat next to his girlfriend.
Yeah.
So I was like, sorry, my bad.
Sorry, my man.
But
I literally think though that Jax almost broke my hand because she was squeezing it so hard when Asuka was coming out. I was like, all right.
I just remember screaming at everyone that was surrounded near me, "That's my girl!" Like as if she was like at my girl or something.
they knew, Monty. They knew after the first match, the people around us, what the night would be like. Like that is just
a long night.
That is the first two entries. It was bad though. It's like Belair comes out, we lose our shit. You know, Oscar comes out, Jaxie fucking mental, and then Bliss comes out with just like, yeah, all right. And I was like, poor Alexa Bliss.
Right.
I felt so bad. We all just sat down, but it wasn't like meant to be like that. But like I just like used most of my voice at the beginning of the night for Bianca and Oscar, and I felt so bad because we all just sat down in sync.
Yeah, who cares? Who cares about
Alexa? I feel so bad.
Like I said, it was a great way to start. Like Bianca Belair, Oscar, and Alexa Bliss are going against Damage Control, as they were known, Bayley, Dakota Kai, and Io Sky. The babyfaces before Bayley and Co. isolated Oscar and cut her off from the rest of the team. Belair predictably received a hot tag and exploded into the match late, but superb teamwork from the Hills gave way to Sky, delivering a trademark moonsault, and Bayley stacking up the EST of WWE for the win. Gina, what did you think of the match? And I know something that actually annoyed you. I think it was a Hey Bayley chance, because that started early in the match.
Oh gosh, I mean, I was so excited that we were getting a show in the UK, but my God, this is the only time that I was so annoyed with us UK fans. Why have you got to do that cheesy chant, that "Hey Baby" chant? I'm really sorry, but I'm sorry if other people don't agree, but for me, I absolutely hate that song. I find it like kind of degrading to be shouting out to, I just didn't like it.
I feel like they were doing it because obviously it's Bayley, but it's like it still just doesn't make sense. And I think, do you know what's worse about it? It's like that song for me is associated with like old school, like early 2000s weddings. You would play that song at the very end when you're trying to get people off the dance floor and get them out. Like it was always played at the end of like a wedding party and things like that. So I was like, do we really have to be coming in here singing that? Like I very much would rather have started shouting out all of the lyrics to Judas than I would be that song. So it was irritating. It took away from the beginning of the match.
Bayley, I was also annoyed for Bayley because like that kind of would have been a little off-putting for me, especially because it wasn't just the once. It was literally every time she was in the ring, it would start up again. And I was like, all right, guys, she gets it. Like, come on, just like cheer for her like you are with the other ladies in the ring. Just cheer for her, chant her name. You don't need to keep doing this really cringy song.
It was just.
But moving on. Yeah,
fair,
but moving on.
Before we get onto the match, I was about to say, just for Monty, I was chanting "Hey Bayley," so no matter what they say.
I was just wondering. You really quiet, Jay.
No, I was singing it. I looked round and went, "Oh shit!"
Why do you think you got relegated to the end, Monty? That was why. He was lucky he didn't have to go and sit on the naughty step. I would have definitely made him sit on that if people weren't constantly walking up.
Yeah. So sorry, Gina. What did you think of the match?
I mean, I thought the match was great. There was like lots of like playabouts on different, there were different kinds of cheers going on. I screamed my highest when we finally got Io and Asuka in the ring against each other. I think everybody just wants to have that one-on-one match, especially now that Io's up on this main roster. So I definitely enjoyed the match, and I gave it a 4.5.
Yeah, this was really, really good.
That, like, Bayley pinned Bianca, I mean, that's clearly obviously foreshadowing the next title defense.
Yeah,
Be Bayley.
You've literally taken two of my points. Like I said, Bailey versus Belair is now loading, and like I said, to see Io and Oscar live, was something to behold as well. But obviously, we didn't hear the commentary, and I didn't really miss the commentary that much. But they did say something on there about Triple Tails, Monty. If someone doesn't know about them,
What's Triple Tails?
Yeah, that's the faction that Oscar, Io, and Io's sister Mia was a part of. Michael Cole even brought attention to it. So first time I've ever heard them in a while just acknowledge their history in Japan. So yeah, they were in a faction many, many years ago. Badasses, of course, but as you would imagine. That was a long time ago, and they have unfinished business that even the commentary kind of went into. So again, planting those seeds that down the line we may get an Oscar Io like full-fledged feud over something. Who knows? So who knows?
Put the title on one of them and have the other one go for it. Like, just give that to me. That would be perfect.
Yeah, I just really like the fact that they highlighted that because it's something that they can bring up again, maybe in video package or back packages down the line to explain to people who may not, know at all. Because again, it's just another added element other than the fact that they're two great Joshi wrestlers,
Yeah, without a shadow of that. Like I said, to hear Michael mention it was surprising. Obviously, with our Japanese expert, Monty, to go into detail is brilliant as well. Monty, what did you... Oh, actually, no, we go with Jaxie. What would you score that out of 5?
Yeah, I gave that a 4.5 as well.
Yeah, and Monty, what about you?
Yeah, I only gave it 4 stars, but it was, like you said, a really good match. It was multiple times throughout the story. One match where I think the camera angles may have doomed Bailey on my end because you can see Bailey visually direct the traffic multiple times. But that, it's not a big deal. You can hear it too, but it wasn't a problem. The story was great though. Corey pointed out again on commentary. I want them to make note of these because I know you guys wouldn't hear it. So Corey pointed out multiple times that Damage Control was a team. They came out together and stuff like that. Wow, they were going against a team of individuals when it came to Bianca, Alexa, and Asuka. So I thought that was a great little element. So it made that finish, right? It made that finish even better because they basically jumped the champ who was all alone. So it was good. So I thought I gave it 4 stars.
I didn't even look at it like that, But now that you say it, yeah, they are a team, whereas the other 3 aren't. So that's quite good to point out.
But
I gave it 4 stars.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think one of the things about the scores as well is obviously being there and watching the event. You kind of don't see, even if it's like a triple slip, especially for that, because you're just so into it. And like I said, our excitement level at that point, I gave it 4.25 because it's a great way to start the show and you're kind of ready, As for predictions for that one, the prediction leagues, well, this is before 3 events. We've got 3 events coming up. Obviously, this was the Clash. We did Wells Collide and, of course, All Out as well. So the bonus league at this moment of time, Gina and Jaxie and Monty are on 6 bonus points. I am on 10. The W Pay-Per-View League, Gina and James, which is me, on 4. Jaxie and Monty on 5. In AEW predictions, Monty hasn't scored yet. Gina 1, Jaxie 2, and I'm on 3. So it's WWE today as we out, and we all went Damage Control, and we are all on 1 point. Excellent. So we move on, and we see Davis Boy Smith's family and Bret Hart in attendance. And then up next is the Intercontinental Championship match. Sheamus versus Walter. And what a great pop for Sheamus, I will see. Jaxie, to see him, I mean, he's a guy who's had a career, and obviously we pay respect to him after the match. But he has had a Hall of Fame career. Is he underrated? Because we got Heroes Welcome.
Yeah, definitely. Do you know what? I do feel like, because I rewatched that match, and I do feel like over the past few years, we've just not had the best sort of like screen time with Sheamus, and that's no fault on his own. That's just kind of him not being booked correctly, He's definitely talented, though. I knew that when he came in and when he first became the world champion. like, you know, he had something special. And, you know, just to kind of see everyone from that were sat there from the UK, just kind of get really hyped up to see Sheamus. You could tell that he was feeding off of our energy as well. And after a match like we're about to go into, like, how can you not deny that this guy is still like should be in sort of like the main event pictures and still be sort of at that sort of level, that caliber, because he just puts on great matches.
Yeah, I think without doubt. And again, this was a great match. In the first match, Monty, with the distance, you obviously with the strikes, you can't really hear a lot. But in this match, you heard everything. There is no doubt about that. I tried to start a bruiserweight chant, didn't get very far, right? But at least I tried it. We did get Imperium back low with Vinci coming back home, back in black. This can only be a good thing, Monty.
Yeah, man, and acknowledging the Imperium name, saying that, you know, Gunther the leader. The only thing that could have made that better, because that was just awesome, is if, you know, if he was back, if they would, instead of saying Gunther, he said Volta, and it would have just the roof over blew up completely. Probably it was no roof there, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. Yeah, we would have lost our shit. There's no doubt about that. And we saw Imperium and the Brutes battled as Sheamus and Volta stood in stone, and they beat the living shit out of each other for 20 minutes, testing each other's endurance, durability, and toughness. We even see Volta's chest going red, and the red marks from Sheamus's punch. But he started dominating the action. Sheamus sees an opening and Polish champion with onslaught of forearms to the chest. The 10 beats of the Finn Balor around ringside are really, really enjoyable. We've got more hard strikes, heavy hit moves, a couple of near fall. Sheamus went for a bro kick, his back gave out, and Volta capitalised with a powerbomb and finished Sheamus off with a lariat for the successful title defence. So much to like about this, even banging out the Celtic Cross. Jaxie, what were your thoughts on this match?
I mean, I think you described it pretty well yourself. Like, this was like an absolute brawl. It was quite shocking. I didn't expect to hear the slaps, and I was in shock when I was like, wait, are those the slaps? We're hearing them from all the way up here. They went hard. And then when you look at Sheamus's chest after, wow. I thought it was a great match, if I'm truly honest. I have to actually give this a 5-star one because this match was amazing. Like a top match, top tiered match, really. That could have been a main event and I wouldn't have complained.
No, like I said, it's meaty men slapping meat. You know, like I said, yeah. When you can hear every strike. Sheamus, he started. Yeah. We even noticed Sheamus was glowing from the ring. That's how red. Guess what?
Yeah, you could really point it out where he was because you could just see the redness of his chest. So, you know, he was a beacon.
Yeah. And this is a title that Sheamus has never won. I wouldn't mind him getting this moment, to be fair.
Definitely.
Gina, what did you think about this one?
This was my favorite match, like literally one of my favorite matches. I gave it a 5 as well. It was just so exciting from beginning to end. And I was looking forward to this match, but I didn't realize how excited I was until like they just started coming out and I just lost my shit. I lost my shit at Imperium being back together. I didn't even realize I was so much a fan of Imperium, but I clearly was because I was screaming more than the little girl behind me. So yeah, it was so much fun to watch. And like we said, it was a brawl of a match. So I gave it 5 stars.
Yeah, I mean, if anybody's asking what European strong style is, this is that, you know. And and what I liked about it, Monty, was showing the casual viewer just how tough Volta is if they didn't know to do that against Sheamus.
Yeah, it was great to see it on this platform, you know, and in that element, the energy was just awesome. Like I can only imagine what this was like being there and like listening to you guys talk about the physicality. Well, it definitely translated through the camera because, like you guys said, Sheamus, both guys actually had wounds basically 5 minutes into the match, so it didn't take long. Sheamus took a really good beating. He fought well. You guys were all by his side. So, I mean, it was just great. Every chop, I was wondering how the hell Sheamus was still getting up. And this was just, I just sat back and enjoyed it, you know. And like you mentioned, James, bringing out the Celtic Cross, you know, man, I love that finish when he came in with that, when he used to use it as his primary finish. So I actually thought it was over at that point. But it was great false finish. It was just exactly what I thought it would be. I think I mentioned as soon as they announced they're going to beat the hell out of each other, and that's exactly what this was. And I gave it 4.5 stars.
Yeah, well, I'm no surprise. I give it 5 stars. For me, it's like match of the year candidate. It's to see someone like Walter getting his, like I said, his just dues on the main roster now, and being that so many times we've seen the characters kind of change, and it's like he's stepped up a little bit in a weird way, and it is good, really, really good to see it. And like I said, the show respect for Sheamus afterwards was so great. From the crowd and for Sheamus himself, because there's no doubt he deserved it, you know?
Definitely.
Yeah, since he's been running heel, he don't get those moments a lot. So it was great to see him get cheered, too, from that perspective, because you don't see it a lot. And like you mentioned, he's really one of those guys who is not mentioned enough, just how consistent he's been over the last, I guess, the entire 2010s pretty much. So, yeah, man, Sheamus is awesome. So it was great to see him get that special moment, you know, even if it was just for, you know, after a loss.
It'd be weird as well, because if this is my match of the year, it'd be the only man to win it 3 years in a row. So maybe, I don't know what's going to happen yet. Poll-wise, with this, Volta got 67%. I realised I didn't do the polls for the the 6-women tag match as well. The faces got 76% there. Predictions, we all went Volta, so we're all on 2 points. Leading to the SmackDown Women's Championship match, Liv Morgan versus Shayna Baszler. Gina, were you surprised by the placement of this matchup coming straight after the IC title match?
A little bit, yes, but I kind of felt sorry for Liv and Shayna, because I don't think anyone would want to follow that match. That match was so hard, so I definitely feel like the crowd would a bit more like chilled and relaxed for this next match. And I wasn't expecting their match to be there either. I was expecting it to be a bit later, just because we had the 6-woman tag match at the beginning. I kind of felt like we were still in the beginning stages, so they'd save the women's title match for a bit later on in the card. So I kind of felt a bit bummed for them both, because I definitely feel like that was maybe a last minute change or something, and it screwed them over a little bit, really, in terms of, you know, all the pop and everybody's energy. Yeah, so, but I still enjoyed the match because I'm a massive Shayna fan.
All right, I mean, like I said, most of the crowd was taking a breath, but Jaxie, you weren't, because it was seeing Baszler, you know, for a women's title opportunity. So this is still quite exciting, you know.
It was exciting to see both women. I do want to say, you know, it's not like I didn't enjoy seeing Liv. As soon as Liv Morgan's entrance music hit, I was like sat there shuffling, dancing. I love that her entrance music. So it's not that I wasn't excited to see her, but yeah, Shayna is definitely a huge. I'm a huge fan of hers, and was just really hoping this was going to be her time. But damn it, this wasn't my night for predictions. I was way off.
No, well, we'll get into the match, like we said, and Liv Morgan sought to make it 2 in a row against the 4 horsewomen of a. Morgan worked submissions early. I fucking called it. I called it in the show we did beforehand of going for it. And because of this, Monty, I got attacked by both of them, all right? I could press charges, but I won't.
You deserved it.
The guys around me didn't have a fucking clue what was going on.
Why you... Exactly.
Just seeing Jaxie Gina dive on me, they're going, what the fuck is he... What?
What did he do?
Yeah. It's because I thought she'd try and submit him, you know? And again, it looked close, trying to defeat her with the Karafuda clutch and an armbar, but Baszler recovered from an onslaught and controlled the match by working her opponent's previously injured arm. Morgan was a good underdog babyface, proved resilient, and fought her way back. Despite a late attempt at a clutch by Baszler, she stunned her with a codebreaker and finished the challenger off. with the Oblivion for the successful title defense. Monty, what did you think about this match?
I think it went well. You know, we got a chance to see, you know, that methodical and the vicious side of Baszler for a while. You know, the side that we've all missed for most of her main roster run. So, you know, other than moments here and there. So it was great to see that again. We also got a chance to see, could Liv hang with her and, like, prove that, like you mentioned earlier, her resilience. And I think she passed the test here. You know, she overcame the constant pressure. And like you mentioned earlier, the little submission work she did, the arm bar and all of that, ended up helping her towards the end there. So I really liked how it turned out. I thought this was by far the best Liv has looked as champion. So I think she came out of this better than when she went into it, and I think that was the goal. And yeah, man, I gave it 4 stars.
Beautiful. Jaxie Gina, you were both really annoyed by this. Jaxie, what were your reasons for it?
Okay, my reason is purely selfish. I just want to see the belt on Shayna now. So there's no way to it. That was my level of disappointment. However, the match itself, I was not disappointed with. I felt exactly the same as Monty, that we were starting to see sides of the old Shayna, the more dominant Shayna back, which I really enjoyed. But I also loved how much Liv is learning from each battle she's having with all the different opponents she's faced so far. She's learning from them, and she's, you know, mixing it up in the ring and trying new things. So I have to give like both women credit, because they did the best that they could considering the match that followed them, you know. So because of that, I gave it a 4. I thought it was a decent match. All right, well, just for your mic out, Monty, I was going to say as well. Right, halfway through the Sheamus and Walter match, I was trying to, I got a really good picture, didn't I, of Sheamus and Walter squaring off at each other from like the big screen.
Yeah, it was wicked.
And I wanted to put it on Instagram, and I don't know if it's from the drinks or anything like that, but I first posted it with like the Irish flag and the German flag. And then me, James, and Gina were all sat there like, wait, he's not German though, is he?
He's not German.
But then we had to Google it. We Googled it like right there and then in the middle of it. It was like, shit, he's Austrian. I had to quickly delete my post and then reposted it back up with the Austrian flag. Oh my gosh, I've never been so embarrassed at getting someone's ethnicity.
That was so funny, but to be fair, we caught it pretty quick. It was only up for like a minute, so before it was taken down and changed. So hopefully we avoided that.
Yeah, I hope so. I'm just glad I didn't tag either of the wrestlers. Otherwise, I would have been screwed so much, messaging them in the DMs like, "I'm sorry."
Also, made me laugh, Monty, is there was a little old woman sat in the front as well. I swear she was by herself. Did you guys see her? She was just sat by herself. I swear she was there by herself, just enjoying things.
And this is a basic story, I think, of being, with Morgan had to handle Baszler to actually have a chance with Ronda, because however tough I think Baszler is, Ronda Rousey is this next level. Gina, what would you score that match out of 5?
I feel a little bit biased because I was super excited to see Shayna. So for me, I gave it a 4. But I also really enjoyed the match. I enjoyed the whole the whole scare and the submissions and jumping on James and cussing him out for something he couldn't help. But I still had a great time. And I tried to scream as much as I could for them because, again, I did notice that the crowd were a bit quiet because of what they just followed.
Yeah.
I also want to quickly point out as well that if Shayna Baszler was Vegeta from Dragon Ball Z, then that means Ronda would be Goku. So it's kind of like, you had like Liv taking on Vegeta before trying to take on Goku, that type of thing. Trying to level up to 9,000,
Well,
yeah, but Liv on a Krillin level.
Well, I'll tell you something. Because of what happened during this match, I'm going to give it 5. Right? I think that's fair enough. For every...
How are you going to go ahead and call Liv Krillin? I'm sorry. What?
So...
He became a people.
Could have at least called her Yamcha.
So anyway, I'm going to score 3.95. I think that's fair enough. I'm not going to give it 4, but pretty close there. Poll-wise for that, Baszler 55%. Predictions, Jaxie went Baszler, the rest of us went Liv. So at this moment in time, Jaxie on 2 points, and the rest of us on 3. In the crowd was Adrian Street and Miss Linda, and yeah, he is that old. Edge and Rey Mysterio versus the Judgment Day next. Ray got a pop, but Edge got a monster one. Monty, what did it sound like? Because I know Edge gets good pop, but it felt thunderous in this stadium.
Yeah.
It must have, on TV, just been magnificent.
Oh, it was different, man. It felt great. You know, it was just, and also not only just the energy that he ran out there with, and you can just tell he's feeding off you guys. I heard a good number of people singing his song. And it was like, wow, you know, I'm not trying to take a shot at Jericho here, but I do like this song better than I like Judas. But anyway, it was nice to hear. You guys were very, very loud. That pop was amazing. It's like you said, Ray had a really good pop. Honestly. You guys were happy to see him too, but he was on another level when Edge came out of there. And I was a little, I didn't know about the fireworks thing until you just mentioned it. But when I saw Edge do it and he only got the steam, I was a little disappointed, and I wasn't even there. So,
well, at that point, I'm thinking, well, the fireworks going off for when Drew wins are going to be different, aren't they?
Steam the entire stadium.
Yeah, certainly. But of course, like I said, we were singing the song. But I mean, it's one of these songs where kind of I think the whole crowd did it because obviously we know, like, on this day I see clearly. Every time
forget the
word. Leave it all behind.
At one point I did, but I don't know if that was because of the alcohol. So I was just like, yeah.
Right.
I don't know what I was singing, whether I got the lyrics right or not. I was just so drunk by this point and hyped for Edge. I was just like, I'm singing whatever the fuck's coming out my mouth.
It's funny. It's like I'm the most camera shy person. I was like, fuck it, I'm going to video myself singing. Like, that's going to be a good idea. So, I don't know, but yes, the whole crowd was singing Edge. And Edge had a mask and matching gear with Ray, which I actually only saw rewatching it. I was like, oh, fuck, he had a mask on. I didn't even realise.
Yes. Yes, he ran into the ring with the mask on.
Oh my god!
I couldn't do that.
Watch back. It's nice. It's a nice mask.
Definitely gonna watch that back.
You can. There we go, Monty. I think you can imagine what it was like. That's an Edge coming out. Like I said, they may have defeated Judgment Day, but that victory proved secondary events that unfolded after the bell. Yeah, that's true.
Hate them at this point.
I mean, if you went to a wrestling event and then didn't even cheer or lose your shit with someone like Edge coming out, then what are you even doing there?
Yeah. No, it's true. And like I said, I say we. Yeah, fuck it. We added to that match. That match was a filler tag that, you know, could have been easily forgotten about. And it got to the
house
match,
show level.
Honest to goodness, I was watching it. What I remember is like Edge coming out and us going, fucking and then 619 spear, match over, and I'm going, where did that go? Like, what happened there?
Yeah.
So, but I tell you what was good, because Gina turned around to the guys behind her and said before, she went, I tell you what, Dom is going to turn heel. Do you believe me? Do you fucking believe me? And everyone was too scared to say anything.
No, true story. At one point, I actually did physically turn around to the people and I said, "I'm so sorry."
But the thing is,
I was adamant. I was serious and adamant, and I had to call it.
But even I just remembered what you were doing as well. It was like the 1, 2, you cunt, or it's just like saying like that. Being shouted across, you fucking pussy.
Yeah, I said that word too many times.
Turn around to the little kids. Sorry, fella. Didn't.
No, I
Sorry,
definitely
some of
felt. I think but at this point, both me and Gina just like all of a sudden, managed to get a bout of the Tourette's. I'm gonna blame the drink that we had just bought just before this match. So we were pretty wasted.
Do I even want to ask what drink?
I mean, we went to beer all night. So No, I did on behalf of you, sis. Don't worry, I got you. But yeah, we didn't like change our drinks at all. We just stuck with drinking beer all day. But I mean, it's like watching like the best way to describe it probably was like, you know what it gets like during like the Super Bowl, and when you're surrounded by so many people and stuff, and then at some point if someone loses their shit and it's not in a positive way. So at this point we were just like, how do you fix it? You know, like it was like all manners had gone out the window. Yeah. You know,
it's all a part of it. I get it.
It's like, and I'm looking at him and I'm thinking, oh well, it's great, and I'm thinking, but what I must have been like in the main event for everybody around, because I don't, you know what I mean? Like I was up on my feet.
Right. Yeah, that was when you. That was when we had to take care of you, James.
I went.
And I legit thought that you would be taking care of us, but no, it was you. I was taking care of you during the Roman match.
I go. We get on that. But the thing about the Judgment Day match that we all loved, and like I said, Gina was right about, was the low blow to Edge by Dominic. And I didn't realise Dom lost a shoe during the low blow, but he did.
Yes.
And Edge,
what a dick kick.
Oh, and Edge selling it, looking up and falling. So many people just take that and would just, straight down or whatever it is. But Edge slowly looking at Dom of what he's done. And then the Eddie...
Oh, so perfect.
The Eddie Guerrero clothesline on Ray by Dom.
Leveled him.
We lost our shit at that point.
Can I just say, again, I'm apologising to the guys behind because I stood up, looked at them, and I pointed in every one of their faces, and I was going, I fucking do it! You fucking talking! We looked so stupid, we hadn't said anything opposing this girl. Like, why are you doing that? Oh, no, but they tried to target.
It was always like you took something that they said personally that they never said.
Yeah, but then it was the people in front of us who turned around and started speaking to you, and I'm thinking, what the fuck are they saying? And they were saying, what did they say? Like, you're distracting us from the wrestling.
I have no idea what they said to me, if I'm truly honest.
I thought that they were like being like sarcastic, being like, "Oh, did you not like the outcome of the match or something?" And I was like, "Didn't look like my sister enjoyed the outcome of the match because I think she did."
No, it was nice in the end because we weren't sure about the people in front of us, but he did turn around and said, "We're getting a bit distracted with wrestling, but because you're so entertaining." So there was a kind of...
Oh, okay, so it was a good thing.
Yeah,
I took it as a compliment on the night, but maybe that was a drink.
No, like I said, I have no idea what they said. I just nodded and said, yeah.
And you said, we got a fucking podcast! We got a fucking...
No, did I actually?
Look, it's on his fucking t-shirt! Look!
Jax, I said keep me in London.
Do you know what? We were quite close to getting G mode out of her cage. I reckon we were quite close.
We touched cloth.
Yeah.
With this.
Next time G mode will be out.
Oh yeah, but the thing is, Jax, I know things with a card are changing that, but it's just like. Yeah, it's gonna get fucking crazy. But anyway, back to the match.
I'm heartbroken that he decided to go with, he's decided, like to have a wife and child. Just only finding this out is absolutely heartbreaking. I feel like
how dare he? How dare he?
Because in my head, we'd only just started dating. Okay.
They've only been together since June, you monster.
This is just a G1, Jaxie.
Honestly, I hope he doesn't ever listen to this because he probably thinks that I'd be like some crazy ass bitch, which I actually will be on my birthday. Regardless, as to what I know now, I will probably still lose my shit. So, James, you will probably still need to keep me back.
Yeah, I mean that's doable. Stopping both of you in it. You after a card are in G mode. That's gonna end well.
Good luck, too. Monty, are you sure you can't get over here to actually give him a bit of backup?
I need help, man.
James needs the backup, seriously.
You're going to scout me some tickets or something.
Oh, my God. But, yeah, Dominic left on his own. Could we still talk about the Hill? And let's not forget, and walked away. As for the match, well, Priest catching herself on barricade was always interesting. And Edge with a 619. Tell you what, Monty, watching him hit the 619 in the crowd was fantastic. Rewatching it.
Yeah, okay, thank you. She proved just how tough that is for bigger people. Like, oh my goodness. Like the core streak. That's what I thought. I was like, oh, Ray must have a great core streak because Edge lost it. He couldn't do it. Couldn't finish it out.
But this thing, Judgment Day are now the new Nexus, it seems, with their win-loss record, but we should hope. Gina, what do you score this out of 5, and what were your thoughts on the match?
I gave it a 4. I gave it a 4. No, I gave it a 4.5. Actually, sorry. And the only reason I gave it a 4.5 is because I fucking knew it that Dom was going to change hair, and because he proved me right. I gave it a 4.5 for that. But I did enjoy the match. Again, rewatching Edge's 619. I'm going to try and hold on to the memory of when I watched it live in the crowd. I'm trying not to reflect back on that. But regardless, the pop for Edge was just. It was just like one of those moments that you can say you really had to be there to just feel that chill go down your spine from everyone screeching about it. It was amazing. I enjoyed the match entirely. I'm so sorry for the people that I was swearing at throughout the whole match. But, everyone loves wrestling and gets into it, so hopefully they can appreciate that too.
But the thing is, and it felt, and I don't know about you guys, but at some points it felt like we were doing a pod. Like, as in, just like sitting there, but just watching wrestling live and just chatting like we are now. Like, even.
Yeah, for sure.
Don't get me wrong, the people around us must have hated it, but I had a fucking time. I had a great time, like, laughing throughout as well. Like I said, this match just kind of flew by. It was unbelievable stuff. Jaxie, what would you score out of 5?
Yeah, I mean, again, apologies for anyone surrounding us that just felt like we were too loud, but that's what you're going to get when you haven't had like a premium live event from WWE over in the UK for that long. So it was to be expected. It was a great match. I gave it a 4.
Monty, what about you?
Yeah, same. It was fun. Maybe I felt kind of house showy at times, but that finish was executed great before, before we even got the nice turn. Like the way the 619 went into the spear just was perfect. You guys' pop was perfect. So I thought that was a great conclusion to the actual match. But then of course Dom took it over the top with the turn. Judgment Day, oh my goodness, I can't predict with them. I don't understand why they can't win in these scenarios. But they got the last laugh, so 4 stars.
Yeah. I'm going to give it 4.25 because, much like Gina, I'm going to give a 1/4 point for ourselves for making that match much better than it actually should have ever been. And, the placement of that straight in to our next match as well was brilliant. Judgment Day got 53% of the vote. Why? Just don't bother next time. We all went Judgment Day. Why did we do that? There's no point. Jaxie on 2.
No.
The rest on 3. There were 62,296 fans at the Principality Stadium. We were 3 of them there. There was one great tweet I saw, because my phone just, I could take pictures and videos, but Twitter was just like, no. And it really upset me, Monty, because I wanted to kind of even chat or try even ring you during it and be like, oh, but my phone was just not having any of it. Really, really did piss me off. But then I got out, and it came up because to our left-hand side, the part of the stadium was kind of like cornered off, and they put like, liar, WWE have not sold out this arena. And it's like, no, but there's still fucking 1,000 people there, and if the tickets had been a little bit cheaper, because they were doing deals even in the last week, saying, "Oh, get these deals," they would have done it. But it's just greed for them, But I still think the way they set it up on TV looked fantastic and everything like that. So it did feel big, So I was pretty happy. And then the next match was Matt Riddle versus Seth Rollins. And Matt Riddle's got Matt back. What's happening, Monty? All these people getting their names, all of a sudden. Is Triple H doing it right? Are we going to get Pete Dunne soon? Please. Are we?
Hopefully. I think slowly but surely.
Please give us Pete Dunne back, please.
Even Butch.
Yeah, they got him out of the costume, so maybe. But I think it's just like what a brain said. Who in the hell have you ever met? Just name Theory. Same thing with Riddle. I'm sorry, it just makes more sense if you give them a first name. So yeah, I think it's really just simple. But again, whatever quirk Vince McMahon had, Hunter obviously don't have it.
No, I've heard of that. And Seth Rollins coming out dressed as Elton John. He had the crowd. Talk about the crowd in the palm of your hand. Seth Rollins there, and again, we're all singing along, and it was really, really cool.
How did that feel? Because I've never seen this Seth live, so how did that feel, like, to sing his song? Because you guys, it sounded like you guys were having a hell of a time.
Yeah, I mean, it was really loud the minute his music hit. Like, it kind of felt similar to the pop with Edge, although it wasn't just excitement with Seth Rollins. Like, it was just sort of there was a lot of people I could see, like, everyone was just watching him, almost like they were in awe of him. But the crowd just went wild when they heard his music drop.
Well, this is the thing, we want something to sing along to. We want something, to chant and do the actions to. And even throughout the night, it just, even after Edge, and we're going, right, what's next? And Seth Rollins was going, oh, fucking hell, and like, it was brilliant to see the crowd and see everybody in that moment. I mean, I was panicking about my prediction at that point, because I'm thinking Riddle don't stand a fucking chance. But, I mean, Seth, man, is just like, excellent, and it was just so good to be there. Gene, it was special, wasn't it? I mean, out of all the entrances, obviously we've still got the main event, but I think Seth's might have been one of the best ones.
Yeah, definitely. It was so loud. I think my ears popped. I wasn't really excited for this match because we've had, like, Seth versus Riddle a few times. But I am surprised at how excited and how much energy I still had for this match. So yeah, I felt it went hard, and I gave it a 3 3/4.
Right, we're going that a little bit. We'll get through the match first, because like you said, they're wasting no time unloading on each other.
Sorry.
That's fine. Getting the best of Rollins early with a tope suicida in the announce table and a powerbomb in the guardrail, turning the tide in the Hill's favour. As the match progressed, the combatants threw everything at each other, even diving into each other's arsenals in an attempt to put the other away. Seth using Orton's DDT against Riddle showed that he was a master manipulator, insulting Riddle's family again. Riddle lost his cool, grabbed a chair, and that's when Seth took advantage and delivered a stomp. And then there was one moment, Monty. Seth's gone to the second rope. I've turned to Gina, gone, he's going to hit an RKO. Riddle's got this, don't worry. Seth comes down off the second and stomps Riddle's head through the fucking mat. I'm like, oh shit. Seth gets the win. Jaxie, what did you think of that match?
I mean, to be honest, when you said about the stomp, like the RKO, sorry, it just kind of went hard, like the minute that you called it. So that was like a really good moment coming from you, James. The match itself was good. I think that I'd like to rewatch this match, but with commentary as well, and just kind of being a bit more up close to kind of really feel it. But I thought this was a really good, decent match, and I kind of knew. So I knew this outcome was going to kind of happen because I didn't really feel like this was going to fully be the end. You know, like the end of that feud. I feel like they're going to still round it up very nicely, and it wasn't the right time to kind of end that feud. So I mean, I'm kind of happy with the outcome. So for me, I gave it like a 3 3/4.
It's really weird because, I mean, Monty, I'll get your score on this. What would you think of the match?
I gave it overall. I ended up giving it 4.5. I liked it, a lot. It was well done. Like you mentioned, Seth was a mastermind, and then Riddle had his moment. He showed that he could bring the fight back and take a beating, which I think is part of this story. And the moves in the ring were awesome. But I was like I just said, I really was into this story because, like, from the beginning, you could see Riddle wanted to hurt Seth. He was pushing the referee, being uncharacteristic of his cool, laid back, self. And of course he should, because after what Seth said. And then, like I said, so the ending was perfect with Riddle's emotions getting the best of him and Seth doing what he does best, taking advantage. And by the way, Seth, until this happened, hadn't won a match on a live event since like 2021. Like in I think August of 21. So it's been a while since he won any of this. But that just show you how big of a star he really is. The fact that all of us still take him seriously, even though he went on this massive losing streak, if you really think about it. Of course, mostly to Cody, but still, he's been losing for a while. And I just love, like you said, the double stomp. I'm with you. I was worried because when he didn't pin him right off the back, I'm like, oh no, you're messing this up, Seth. But when he did the last one, I was just like, nice. And that knot on Riddle's head, I know you guys probably didn't see it, but the camera angle from the live show showed how Riddle's face afterwards, and he had a beautiful, it's not beautiful, but it was really hard to look at because it looked deformed almost. A huge knot right in the middle of his forehead. And I don't know if it was from the stomps or whatever, but it just added an element of wow, this is getting even more personal. So like you mentioned, Jaxie, you can tell this is gonna get even more personal as we go. And they're probably gonna end on blood feud status. So I really liked this. I gave it 4.5. Jack.
Well, this is the weird thing about it, and I don't know why. Maybe I was getting ready for the main event because you did tell me to pace myself, Monty. There's no doubt about that. But
sure.
And I was singing along, even though Seth fucked me. But this match was so much better the second time round of watching, and I don't know what it was. Maybe we're just coming off, and just not concentrating on the action or whatever it was. But like you said, rewatching it and seeing the story, because I gave it a 4. Like my original rating was, 3.5, 3 3/4, and then rewatching it's like, no, it's 4.5 because, like you said, the intricacies of what they were doing, and I think even maybe like the facial expression that maybe we weren't seeing as much, and certain things.
Yeah.
You guys had to get that close view.
I do feel like I would benefit from rewatching it because I've only scored it at 3.5 because I don't really now that you're kind of, especially Monty, is breaking down a lot of the moves that took place. It kind of came across differently from where we were sat, So I'll definitely be rewatching this and probably will regret my choice in reviewing it the way I have. But oh well.
No, I regret my way of picking the match. So, that's my fault.
It's fair, though, because he even brought up Riddle's family and, said it in the ring, but you guys wouldn't hear that in the crowd where you guys were. No way. So it makes a lot of sense. It was a lot of intimate stuff that would make this match even better for you.
Yeah, I think without doubt. I mean, we talk about polls. Seth Rollins got 70% of that. Everybody went Rollins apart from this mugger here. So it means Jaxie and myself on 3 points, Gina and Monty on 4. We then see Cross with Scarlett in the throw. And again, I started worrying a little bit. And I'm thinking, why are they showing him? But at least it was in the crowd and not a sneak. You know what I mean? If he hadn't have been shown, I would have been like, he's showing up at the end of this match. So I guess it was...
He got paid to watch the show in the front row. I just loved it.
Yeah, to be fair.
Ended up doing much of nothing.
To be fair. So it's a match we've been waiting for. Main event time. Drew was red hot coming into this one. And it didn't matter that it was in, like I said, the first Stadium Show, 30 years in the UK, with a man from the UK, a part of the main event. McIntyre's been on fire on SmackDown recently as well, even in America. So it didn't matter coming out here for the undisputed W Universal Championship, Drew McIntyre versus Roman Reigns. And Drew McIntyre had an enormous pop from his entrance. But I should say first, Monty, again, might have spoken about this. Broken Dreams. I fucking lost. I was speaking to you. We sang the song last one, and as soon as I heard the dong 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 dong, and I'm going, oh my fucking god! I was like, oh.
You were worried about Cross. I immediately was worried about the Chief. I was like, oh Lord, no, Roman's gonna lose.
Broken Dream, and then I'm singing along as you do. Losing my fucking shit. We've been waiting for it for so long. And then the other thing I loved about as well, obviously coming up to his normal theme, and then just hearing the Drew McIntyre, Drew I mean, I still hear it like now. It was fantastic. And then Roman Reigns, the defending champion, entered the arena on his own. There was no Paul Heyman, Jimmy J. Uso, even Sami Zayn, as Tribal Chief made his long walk to the ring without pyro. No fireworks all night, apart from Jaxie and Gina when they saw Daddy Reigns. Jaxie, what went through? I want to say what went through you, Judith, because I was gone on McIntyre, Monty, right? So at this moment,
right.
I'm thinking I'm having a heart attack because I just can't calm myself down. And then Reigns' music hits. So all three of us are basically going, oh!
Yeah. Do you know what? I don't even remember, how I was during that moment. I feel like I got completely taken over and I was entranced, and Roman Reigns just sucked me in, and that was it. That's all I could see. So I feel like I was loud, but I don't remember if I was, because I was just entranced by this man. I wish I could have seen him up close, although it was probably a good idea that I didn't, because I would have jumped him. Just to hug him, not jumped him in a bad way.
No, getting jumped in a good way.
Just a tiny jump.
Oh my god.
A tiny jump.
Yeah, just a little jump.
Just a little one.
I also don't even remember how I was when Roman was coming out, because I just lost my shit. Do you know what it is? Everybody in the room disappeared. It was just me and Roman.
You turned to me when you better film this because I'm fucking not.
That is exactly how I feel, sis. That is exactly how I feel. I felt like as soon as his music hit, it just went dark everywhere else, and it was just him.
Yeah, it was just him walking down that long ass ramp, walking towards just me, nobody else,
taking his time.
Yeah.
Listen,
I was all cool with that.
Yeah, but I was going, McIntyre's not moved. He's standing in the middle of the ring. Look, he's not moved position. He's going to fuck Roman Reigns up.
Actually, I remember that. I was like, James, shut up.
I just remember that.
His way out.
James, shut up.
I was like, he's not scared. He ain't fucking scared. He's going to do it.
On television, it felt John Cena-ish, way back from One Night Stand. And in a reverse, in that similar way, because you can tell you guys wanted Drew, but it's funny that you guys were so in a trance, because on television it sounded like nobody was. Everybody was bored. People were throwing up the wands eventually and all of that when he got in the ring, but you can tell that the energy was bring your butt to this ring so Drew can beat you.
I said, before we get on to the match, Gina, am I allowed to talk about the chant that you accidentally started? Or if you remember,
I started a chant.
Well, the chant was fuck you, Roman was the chant.
Wow,
that was going.
Wait,
other people were chanting that.
Oh my gosh, no, I remember.
No,
Shit.
I remember this. Oh my gosh, you were the first bitch ever. I swear to God.
Turn cold.
No,
Oh my god.
No, she
she's
didn't.
there, so
That-
everyone's shouting, fuck me, Roman. She's there shouting, fuck me, Roman.
How's he gonna be Daddy Reigns? He's gonna fuck you, Roman.
No, she's chanting, fuck me, Roman. And I'm going, Gina, it's not fuck me, Roman. She went,
It's
no,
the other way.
it's fuck you.
And that little old woman in the rope, like just above us, her neck turned so quick as she heard Jesus chant. I felt like she felt offended.
Oh my god.
That's
I am
great.
so sorry to the entire stadium.
That's great.
So I catch my breath back. So yeah, this was the match. We were all ready. We'd peaked at the perfect time for this. And I don't know, I think I sat down during this match, but I can't remember, you know. Like I said, this was when Roman sold this as a fish out of water. And this was
Yes.
and again, I don't want to be biased here, but for me this was a great main event, and again another legitimate match of the year candidate. These two guys, and it's weird because after watching the G1, I've kind of turned, because even the statistic of like McIntyre's never beaten Reigns, and it's kind of like, you know, with a card with his records that he's got against certain people, and I'm going, well, we're fucked now. Like, even if I heard that when he had said it, I'm
Right.
like, he's got no fucking chance. Like, he's never face or heel, or never beaten him. Lost him at WrestleMania, lost him at Survivor Series, but today would be different, I suppose. I mean, they took everything they had, worked through and developed that over time, and executed it to perfection. As we know with Roman Reigns, and as Jaxie with the very first show talking about how good Roman Reigns was a master of the near fall and the timing that is impeccable. He knows exactly when to throw his shoulder off the mat to maximise the drama, and the result is often a contest that has fans completely invested. It had us completely. Reigns hit 2 spears with Drew somehow getting out of it. I mean, one of the I had admitted defeat with the second spear, Monty. I was like, no, it's done.
Yeah.
And
Me too.
Yeah. You sat down so quick, and you just looked like you were about to sulk so bad.
Deflated.
and then McIntyre managed to kick out, and I'm just like, oh, come on, you fucker, come on! Like, it's our time. The back and forth shots in the centre of the ring was something else, and they were setting up the Claymore. And this is another thing that got me excited, was they were setting up. He was setting up the count, he was setting up the Claymore, and I'm thinking, we're going to get this now. And he finally hit the Claymore, but with a ref bump, and then Theory's music hit. And I thought the worst. I thought, not like this. Not like this. And as he came down, and when Fury KO'd him, I mean, I knew Theory had been taken out, but I just thought it was a fan. And then I realised it was Tyson Fury.
Tyson,
jumping up and down.
Yeah, what was that? Who was that?
It's like, it's fucking Fury. And I'm going, it's now. The time is now. Now, come on. I was going, come on. This is it. Back in the ring. And it's 3, 2, 1. Claymore. Cover with a ref in position. 1, 2. And I counted 3.
Let's
and I
go.
was going, yeah. And then I was like, what?
Nope.
And no, Solo
so
Sikoa making his main roster debut, pulling out the ref and stopping what would be the biggest pop in years. I was in tears as Reigns speared Drew and retained the undisputed W Universal title. This was Broken Dreams, and Jaxie and Gina knew how I felt, so did a little dance and laughed at me in my face, Monty. How nice is that?
Okay,
I'm sorry, I was too buzzed that my man just won it. I just was too buzzed.
Let me explain. I actually was more excited because I didn't know who this guy was, and then like all of a sudden I see some blonde-haired, beautiful-looking man on the screen, and I was like, "Hold up, who is this?" So I was more like freaking out at who that was before I actually came to not celebrate that Roman won, but I also am not mad that he won.
I could tell that both of you were quite happy.
Doesn't he look like the Usos though? I thought it was one of the Usos who just dyed their hair out first.
Yeah.
So I was just like,
Little
oh
brother.
wait, no, it's
Yeah, he's
Little
a little
big
brother.
brother.
no.
Wait, is that
Yeah.
her?
Little, yeah.
He literally looks exactly like them.
Okay, well that's why he's fit then.
Well, look. He cost fucking McIntyre the Universal Championship in the UK.
James,
I don't
let
give a
us
fuck
be
if he's fit.
happy.
Okay, James,
Let
I
us
really
be
want,
happy,
I actually really
please.
wish. I actually wish I felt your rage, but I can't be mad at Daddy Reigns. Don't be mad at me for that.
They took it. They took it from me. I had it, and they took it. Just like that.
I know.
Man,
It is
you
really
don't think
sad.
you won the World Cup over here, man? We was me and my fiance was celebrating.
I will
Yes.
not apologize.
You were the only one that freaking got a point in that match, so of course you were celebrating.
Yeah, Monty, what was it like knowing that my
Oh.
heart was broken?
Oh, I wanted to step on it. I was so ready.
Did you
you
take it away?
my fiance told me not to bother you guys because it was fresh. You lucky because I was gonna rub it right in. Ooh, it was fresh.
So sweet.
I loved
Don't
it.
worry,
She said it's
Jay.
fresh.
Don't worry, Monty. We were literally doing the whole, the Drax laugh in his face. Like, you be so embarrassed.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was laughing at your pain, James. Definitely.
Yeah. You
I was
laugh.
on top of the
you
world.
laugh. You laugh.
And then it
Laugh
made
loudest.
sense. I was like, Solo? I was like, then they're gonna debut Solo with his family now, finally? Oh, like I was so surprised because I was like, how the hell Triple H gonna get me out of this? Like, you don't understand the emotional roller coaster that match took me on too, because every time you thought Drew had it won, I was in pain. So I don't care. You would have threw it in my face if Drew won.
Yeah, but that it's even after we were leaving, I'm going, but it was free. I counted free. Like,
It was.
It was there. Like how did it not?
Yeah, sadly that didn't hold true.
No, it didn't.
That's
So,
wrestling though, man.
Monty, what did you think of the match? I know we were all emotionally invested in it.
Now, don't look too deeply into this, but this is the 5-star, though. My only 5-star.
Oh, really?
I wonder why, but don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. This is wrestling, man. This emotional roller coaster. The way I was rooting, like you mentioned, like the Super Bowl or for your favorite Premier League team or whatever, it's the similar range. That's how it was. Like I was rooting in my bedroom for this, and I was just, I don't know, man. I was invested. I can't even really do every spot justice because it was like that type of roller coaster, and it felt like it was going to be Drew night. That was the only thing I did feel a speck of sympathy, not for you, James, but for Drew, because for Drew, not for you, because losing like that in that spot, I was like, damn, that kind of sucked. To go have all this hype behind you, the entire United Kingdom behind you, so they say, especially on commentary, because it was more than just you guys. They built it up. The entire United Kingdom was behind Drew. So for him to lose in that situation, yeah, man, that I felt for him, but I was over the moon. 5 stars.
The thing is, if Drew's not going to win a title, like I heard a lot of things afterwards of saying, "Oh, just give Drew the WWE Championship." It's like, well, no. If he was going to win a title, I don't want him to win it in Washington.
Do
no
it
offense
then.
to fucking Washington.
Right.
Do it when I'm fucking there. Right. Do it when I'm fucking watching. When the moment was perfect,
Right.
we could have had the biggest pop in the fucking
It
world.
was.
But instead, you got Tyson fucking Fury. But anyway,
Singing. How was the song?
oh fuck me.
I'm sorry. Can I quickly just say as well on that note, like I know that they wanted to like bring him in and have him do something like with the crowd, like at the end and stuff. But listen, Tyson, I don't want you singing to me when I just fucking lost in front of like the whole UK crowd. Yeah, I want to actually just get out the ring. You singing to me is like Gal Gadot singing to the world when COVID hit. Not needed, not necessary.
It's just, it really is. And the singing in itself, we'll get on that in a second. But so, Monty, your score at 5. I'm going to give it a 5 as well, because the thing is I knew it's not my week when my team loses 4-0 on the day McIntyre loses, and then lose 4-0 yesterday. And I'm thinking, not looking good for me at the moment. So, it's a hope that gets there. And I thought, well, at least I've got predictions. It's that. But no, 5 is
longer, James. For how much longer?
Yeah. Well, like I said about this match, it was fantastic. Jaxie, what did you think of the main event?
I mean, again, I'm giving this a 5-star. I really enjoyed it. It was so fun. I didn't mind either outcome. So I think because of that, it made me enjoy the match so much more. So yeah, 5-star from me.
And Gina, what about you?
Do you have to ask? It's going to be 5 stars. Come on. I lost my voice today.
No, it was excellent. But I need to get everybody's fair score. I'm lucky I didn't score this a 2. Just to be like, no.
You bitter. I would have been shouting, "You're bitter, James. Don't be bitter."
Pussy! Just
God. Well, at least you shouted it at yourself this time. It wasn't us.
No, to be fair. No. Yeah, but this is what I'm saying. Even if at any point I looked over and went, oh, gosh, the girls seem to be, maybe. And then McIntyre just lost my fucking mind. So it didn't matter what happened. I was just so into it at that point, shouting. I was standing, blocking the people's view, and I didn't give a fuck. All I wanted was the Claymore, and it didn't. So, hey, what the fuck can you do? But like I said, Tyson Fury sang American Pie, but not Sweet Caroline, and he's not getting paid for that, which actually I quite liked. And Monty how much of Drew's thing did you see afterwards? Because he did a really good, heartfelt promo.
Yeah, if I remember it right, especially live, after Roman, it finished with Roman standing on the stage. I don't think I got to see much of the song. I only got to see the song and hearing about it through Twitter, and I heard about Drew giving a great promo, but I don't think it was broadcast. If it was, I cut it off too early because I was just riding the wave of Roman winning. So, but if I remember it right, it cut off, and I did not get a chance to really see much of that.
Oh, Drew just saying how much of a fucking loser he was. But also, he's talking about, I fucked it for everybody. Good night. The thing is he said, like, Roman Reigns might be, the island of relevancy, but this island here will always support me no matter what. And then he tried to sing a bit of Oasis, actually, as as he walked off. But yeah, he did. And I'm gonna quote what Drew said because it's actually not too bad. So Drew can wait. He knows it's too late as Roman's walking on by. My soul slides away, but don't look back in anger. I heard you say. Well, at least not today. So, yeah, that's how we're going to finish things there with the main event. 5 points all round. Poll-wise, it was split 50-50. Predictions. Well, this is...
Come on.
Do I have to? Really?
Just do it.
Do I have to? So it finishes.
No choice.
It finishes as we.
Woo! The honorary Brit.
Monty
wins again.
Monty picked Roman. Monty wins. Predictions, like we said, yes. We talk about the battle in Britain, the first pay-per-view in the UK in 30 years, and the American wins predictions. Monty did pick Roman. We all
It's just
went.
bittersweet, isn't it?
You're making a patriot out of me.
It's bad. Jaxie and
go.
myself finish on 3 points. Gina on 4. Monty on 5. But the thing is, Gina, you should be annoyed because if Drew won, you would have got the pay-per-view point. So, Are you singing
I know.
for American?
I forgot I went with Drew. I actually thought I chose Reigns. So I actually came out of this thinking I had that point, and then I realised when I got home I didn't.
Oh, hang on, let me do this for you.
Shut up, James. I still got to see my man win in person. Fuck you.
Oh, really? Oh, it's like that, is it? All right, I see.
That is exactly how he's going about it.
What an
Sorry,
insult.
that was just a knee-jerk reaction.
Yeah. Well, the person you
just
really
a
like and
knee-jerk
support keeps fucking losing.
No! No!
I can't help it.
Toxicity in this group. Oh my gosh.
I just can't help it. So, yeah, fucking Monty wins the prediction league.
Yes, sir.
So
one more time. Say it one more time.
Monty wins the prediction league. He wins the WWE pay-per-view league. So the WWE pay-per-view league at the moment, Gina and I are on 4. Jaxie's on 5. Monty takes the lead on 6.
Woo!
Overall,
follow
for
the
show,
leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader.
I mean, the thing is, how can I be unbiased about rating this show? You know, I mean, if Drew wins, it's a 10, and I'm not even arguing. Like, you know, but great setting, brilliant company, and world-class wrestling. I hope I can keep whatever feeling we had then going for every show or podcast that we do, because I came out of that fucking buzzing. Even though Drew lost, I cannot imagine what it'd be like. Well, to be fair, the police would probably still be looking for me, because I would have just gone straight into Cardiff, and then disappeared into the night, singing Broken Dreams, I suppose. But Gina, for you, what would you score that? Oh, match of the night first. We'll do match of the night. That would be easier for all of us.
I mean, I do want to go with Roman for my match of the night, but I have to give it to Sheamus and Gunther. I'm still feeling that match now from being sat there and watching it, and that was the match of the night for me for sure. And in terms of overall rating, I am going to be biased because I was there in person, and it just made the experience so much better. Again, it's so different when you are so used to watching wrestling on the TV, and usually a day out or maybe more. So to be there in person and live, it was such an experience. I'm giving it a 9.
Jaxie, what about you? What about match of the night? What is your rating out of 10?
I mean, it's going to sound a lot like my sisters, but I do agree. I think Sheamus and Gunther kind of stole the show, so to speak. So I'm going to go with them for match of the night. And I think, again, a lot of what my sister say is true. Like getting a chance to be able to experience it firsthand, it just makes the whole experience different, especially when you've grown up watching it. All you do is watch it on TV. So for me, I'm going to give it a 9 too.
Monty, what's your... Well, you fucking know what your match of the night is. What are you going to score that?
There you go. Thanks. I'm glad you guys chose Gunther and Sheamus, because it's obvious where I'm going. But I'm so happy that you guys got a chance to go, because from someone who's been to a couple of live events and like I said, Mania and all of that, I know that being in a building with thousands of people who have a common bond with you almost right off the bat, that is the fact that they're there and they enjoy wrestling also. Like, it's just one of those feelings, like you said, you'll never forget, and those memories are going to be with you forever. And so I'm just glad you guys had a valuable experience and, great memories. And going forward, I can't wait for all of us to join up at another show down the line.
For
so
real.
As far as the presentation goes from television, it was great. The energy was just off the charts. I don't know if you noticed this, James, but this felt WrestleMania coming through on television with the presentation, the stadium, the way everything looked. It felt like a big deal. So I have to give it a 9.5 or 9.25, maybe would be more accurate. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. Seeing it on TV was just like, it was something else, because you're like, we're actually part of that. you know, and even kind of looking
Right.
back at the matches, stuff like that. Like you said, Monty, it's an excellent point, and that will stay with us forever. And it doesn't, even after I came out of the show, you know, and I'm saying all these, you know, I've been to quite a few wrestling shows, but this one, for me, bell to bell, I think is the best wrestling I've seen. But it was the overall experience, you know. It's like they said, the crowd itself. Also, you know, credit to Gina and Jaxie because they were so, as you can tell, anybody listening to the show, were how fucking entertaining they have been. You know, like, honestly, they were. Yeah, when you've got the kind of hopes of how they will be, and they just exceed expectations, and you just it was, like I said, incredible round. For me, I'm gonna give it 9 3/4.
We need a camera crew next time.
Turn to a vlog.
But like I said, great stuff. One thing we haven't done is MVP of the night. For me, the MVP was Sheamus because of the response that he got throughout. Monty, who's your MVP quickly?
He saved my life. Solo Sikoa. Let's go. Solo.
We always have to get shot in. Jaxie.
I'm going to go with Sheamus. I really can't think of anyone else that I would want to have as MVP at the moment.
No. Gina?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm going Sheamus too.
Yeah, no, I completely agree there. We asked everybody what they thought of the show. How did everybody rate it? Let's see if it actually loads up here or not. Here we go. Okay, 14%. Good, 19%. Great, 32%, and awesome on 34%. So a WWE show to get an awesome rating as well, especially the WNR podcast.
2 in a row, right?
Yeah, I mean the fucking
SummerSlam, right? Yeah.
Oh yeah, but the AEW guys are pretty fucking harsh when it comes to like the polls and stuff like this as well. But
yeah,
I don't think anybody was arguing after that show on a Saturday. And also another weird thing, Monty, I don't know if you noticed as well, the 2 major WWE events we could actually watch on UK time. You know, like 6 o'clock on a Saturday night, 9 o'clock on a Sunday.
Man. That was so great.
Did it affect you at all? Because I could get used to this.
Man, it was beautiful for me, man. Like noon wrestling. 1 p.m. wrestling was just great. Like, I love it. And then even 3 p.m. or 2 p.m., I think for us over here where I live was great too for Worlds Collide. So I love it. I did not mind it. I watched a fantastic show and I still had my night to myself. So it was great.
Well, I said it was good to have it here for this weekend, but it might be a little while until we do. The next time we're going to meet up, Monty, you and I will be doing a show. We'll talk about Worlds Collide and do the review. But we will mention it now because obviously Jaxie and Gina did predictions as well. And anybody kind of does want spoilers, don't listen now. There we go. So, Worlds Collide, Mandy Rose saved me as I drew with Monty 3-all. Jaxie and Gina, you finished on 2. So, Monty at this moment in time is 2 for 2. And we have the AEW show coming up, all out. But I don't think there's too much news to cover there. So we should be all right when it comes to that.
Yeah, nothing happened at all. Very unnoteworthy week.
Right. And finally, we just talk about Raw, because it's great on Raw as well. Jaxie Gina, I don't know if you saw Raw, but even when they're kind of going, this is what happened at the Clash, and showing clips and going, yeah, I was there, man. Like, fucking hell, yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
They didn't move on straight away to the next pay-per-view.
I watched a bit of Raw. I wasn't able to like watch the main event, although I did catch like the results of the main event and stuff. But I definitely enjoyed seeing sort of like the playback of Clash at the Castle throughout Raw especially because we were there, so we weren't really seeing it from this angle. So it was nice to see.
Right, and then we had Raw. Edge wanted Dom, who is a man now, thanks to Ray Ripley. Look, we're going to get Ripley versus Ray for Dom's custody. We know we're getting that, all right? There's no doubt. Yeah, exactly.
When they started shouting, like, didn't they start shouting something like, Eddie's your father or something?
Yeah, Eddie's son, I think. Yeah. So,
that was
Eddie's son.
Or something. I was like, oh, God, do we have to bring that up again?
Because
cringe.
That mullet don't help. I'm sorry.
That's another. I remember Gina shouting out, "He's got a mullet. That's why he's going to be a heel. He's got a mullet."
Yes, that's 100%.
Again, I don't remember shouting that, but sorry to the people who heard that.
Oh, you were off.
We had the four-way
like
tag.
I said, put a camera crew on us next time. You can just see it for yourselves.
And in all honesty, that's the only thing that's a shame. Like, that would have been nice getting filmed and just seeing us losing our shit at these different points in time as well. Overall, though, we saw, like I said, 4 teams getting destroyed by returning Braun Strowman, the Street Profits, New Day, Lotharios, and AA.
All over.
Yes, he did trip, but again, WWE you didn't see the trip live. You had to go on Twitter to find
They covered it well.
Yeah.
Yes, they did.
Didn't even notice it on TV. Yeah.
And there was a part of the New Day trying to pin each other, which was quite funny as well. But Braun Strowman, I mean, speak about it another day about his return. And then Owens beat Theory in a good match. We saw Rey Mysterio losing to Damian Priest. Bayley Kai, basically saying Kai pointed out she wasn't pinned. She was pinned, but not the legal competitor. So I don't like it.
Rematch.
Yeah, but again, it's either have their moment or don't have their moment. You know, one or the other.
Right, I agree.
And then the main event tonight saw The Miz challenging Lashley for the US title inside a steel cage, and Dexter Lumis appeared from under the ring. What a fucking camera angle that was, I must say.
Yes. Beautiful camera work, man.
Oh my gosh, I really need to go and watch this match because of this is all I could see on Twitter, and I was just losing my shit at the screenshots of it. So I'm like, imagine what I'm going to be like watching him just come out. Like, the thing is, I've actually missed this part of Dexter Lumis. Like,
No, Jax, watch that part with me, please.
Yeah.
So we can react together.
Yeah, but it's like I've missed this part of Dexter Lumis, and for some reason it screams NXT, you know, and it just gives me such good vibes. Like, I really need to kind of go back and watch that match just to enjoy seeing that.
The other thing I quite
need
like,
creepy Loomis back, man.
Yeah, and it's even like the Loomis that strokes as well, you know, because like I said, even Loomis lost and Loomis, no, did he choke him out? Just little pet him.
I think one of my favorite potential storylines before shit came out and Velveteen Dream was gone. One of my favorite moments from NXT was like Dexter Lumis drawing like a child's picture of him and Velveteen Dream teaming up together, and I really hope that he's just gonna find some sort of like really cool partner that he ends up just being like the weirdo that leaves him like pictures like that again, because it was so funny.
Weirdly enough, I have got a final news that I'm going to do now you've mentioned it. Velveteen Dream.
Oh, no.
There's 2. I've got to mention it, Monty. Sorry, man. But
really?
there is... He's allegedly, as EC3, told the story of Velveteen Dream setting up a toilet camera at a house party so he could get pictures of everybody's knob. That's basically...
Oh my god!
Yeah, but the thing is, and people going, "Oh, why don't you forget about that? That's a long time ago." You know, what about maybe getting back employed with WWE? And then the news coming out was that he was involved in an incident on August 20th where he punched and bit an employee. And his mug shop is up, and he has been arrested. So, no, Velveteen Dream is not coming back. But, I mean, can you believe that?
Yeah.
I mean, he just sounds like a little bitch, really. He just needs to just go away at this point.
Let's leave it. Leave him and let's leave it.
You've got me back by your head, so that's how done I am with this dude. Let's move on to the next storyline.
Well, that's the same. I'm picking subjects to finish podcasts. Last one was Chris Benoit, and now we're going to.
What are you doing, man?
I don't know.
I've noticed this.
Really? Your two like newsworthy items of discussion for ending the podcast with Velveteen Dream and Chris Benoit. Really?
Yeah. We're gonna go into detail about the Queen on the AEW show, so don't worry about that.
Yeah. or some guy getting bit. Don't forget about that.
Can you do that at the beginning so I can miss that part of the show?
Well,
I wouldn't have much to contribute. I
Well-
won't have much to contribute.
well, saying as you said that, I think that's a great time to leave it, Gina. I really do think that is.
Yeah, let's leave it.
Don't outsay our welcome, do we? So don't forget, we're across all social media, Twitter at the WNR Podcast. I'm at the WNR JR, and you can find the entire WNR team on the Twitter banner. Monty, where can
You can find me at MyMontyPod on Twitter. Also on your banner. You can go look up Mine of Monty on any podcasting platform that you use. You can check out our latest episode. This week, we're definitely going to be getting into all the shows that just happened on this past weekend. Worlds Collide, All Out, the fallout from that, and a little bit of putting a bow on Clash. So check it out.
right, Jaxie, where can I find and follow you?
I'm across both Twitter and Instagram at Jaxie Scarlett.
And Gina, how can you hurl abuse at people? Play what?
You can get abuse hurled at you at Purple Pain on Twitter and Instagram.
Oh God, I'm sorry. That
People who
tickled
like
me.
that, be careful.
What is it?
Be careful.
And I say, like, I might just have to start a separate Gmode account for that.
Well, it's Jaxie had to pay 70p to, and I'm just thinking there's probably people on the podcast that would pay a lot more money. So
I did not pay. I didn't pay it. I got in for free because I spoke kindly to one of the guys that works there. That's all. I just asked him nicely and he let me in for free.
And gave him false hope.
Yeah.
No, I was not paying 70p, so if I
You
got
went-
to do a little bit, I will.
I saw what you did. I went up to him and he told me to go fuck myself. So I guess I did my eyes and
No
everything. I went, please.
Oh my God.
Did you kick my puppy face?
Yeah. my Who Framed Roger Rabbit face. Like, please.
That never worked for Roger.
Doesn't fucking work for me, so don't worry about that. But the WNR, we're also on Facebook and Instagram. It's all good platforms. Send us an email, WNRpodcast@gmail.com, and YouTube, WNR Podcast. We have all the latest clips and podcasts got at the same time on YouTube as do SoundCloud on your phone. And go on to Facebook. You'll see Raw and SmackDown notes from the build-up for the Clash. You'll see pictures of, if you want to see what I look like, I mean, I don't know why, but if you do, or Jaxie and or Gina, you can go and find out on Twitter, on Facebook, on YouTube as well. We've got Roman Reigns' extended entry on there as well, just for you guys. And also Spotify and iTunes, where you can download, subscribe, rate, and review there. So that is it. Our next episode will be AEW All Out 2022. Like I said, not much to cover, so it should be fine. But what a show it has been today. You know, nearly a week after watching the Clash, and I've just relived it again, just talking about it. And that's, like I said, thanks to everybody here. And Monty, like I said, I hope you didn't feel too much of an outsider, because you're not.
Oh,
you
no.
know how important you are as a team member.
This was awesome, man. I was living vicariously through you guys, so I love
Yeah,
it.
we did keep saying Monty would have loved it, you know, like if he was here with us. So you were definitely there in spirit.
I didn't like Gina saying, I wish it was Monty and not you, James. You know, but again...
Oh, come on. You're making me out to be such a bitch. Gmode wasn't out
sure
yet.
it was just-
It wasn't.
You
know
ain't
what? She might have
Monty!
actually
Who
been.
the fuck are you? Fuck!
Oh,
Are
God.
we sure it was just beer?
Yeah, probably.
Well, that's it. Hopefully, we can meet up, like I said, for the AEW show, and everything will be fun. But until then, I've been James Rowlands, and I was joined by the fantastic Jaxie Scarlett. Jax, thank you very much. It was a pleasure meeting you. I don't even have mentioned saying that, and like I said, as you can tell, I hope we all enjoyed the show. And as Monty mentioned as well, keep this memory forever.
Exactly. And it was lovely meeting you two. It was so much fun. I cannot wait to finally kind of do a Wolfpack reuniting when we finally make it over across the pond to Monty. But we will get there eventually one day. So yeah, it's been great, and thanks for this.
And it's been really, really good. Like I said, the mind of Monty. Monty, I promise you, we will be doing a pod at one point in time in the future, and we'll be talking about all being there as well.
Sounds good to me. Royal Rumble's in San Antonio, so I'm I'm twisting my fingers right now that maybe I can get there, but I don't want to give you guys false hope.
And the genius, which is Gina. And like I said, we didn't have G mode, but I am worried for the New Japan show. But like I said, you've had a good time, and it was, in all seriousness, I know I kind of josh and have a joke a little bit like that, but it was great seeing you and meeting you in person as well. And to be on the show, like I said, even though Jack's done it for 2 years, you've still done it a year now as well, and you're an important part of this team as anybody, you know. So I just want you to know that, and thank you very much, you know.
Oh, thank you, and definitely, I'm so happy that you guys asked me to do this, because again, I knew I was really worried, and it's not something that I'm used to. So you all have helped me, and I feel like I've grown over this past year with the group. But it was awesome meeting you as well. I had such fun, and to be honest, I would love to just keep continuing this. You know, it's something that I didn't really realize would be so much fun for me to look forward to. And yeah, if I can continue to improve, let me know.
Well, we'll have a chat in the next episode. We'll see what happens. In all seriousness,
that was rhetorical, James. That was rhetorical. That's not.
Oh yeah, sorry. I apologise. That's yeah. Wow, it's kind of awkward way of leaving everything, kidding. Guys. Yeah, no, I suppose. No, well, those people listening. I hope people listening have enjoyed this, and it's not just been me kind of rambling nonsense, which is usual anyway, so don't worry. But like I said, Jaxie, Monty, Gina, and myself, Team WNR, thanks for listening, everybody, and bye.